Alright, hello and welcome to another NVIS 40K 7th edition battle report. We are doing today, if you'll notice, I'm trying to use a tripod. All you haters out there that are always complaining about shaky camera work, I'm going to try and fix that. This is our tabletop. We are playing a Maelstrom of War mission. We are playing the Spoils of War. We have placed 6 objectives. There's 1, 2, 3 across the middle. 1 in the back corner there. 1 here. And 1 in that building over there. So 6 objectives. We rolled randomly for the hammer and anvil style deployment. Today we are going to play 2,000 points of Space Marines and Inquisitors versus 2,000 points of Orks. Let me show you Space Marine list. This is just basically it's my 1750 list with a Storm Raven thrown in. I have on the Space Marine primary Chapter Master on bike with Shield Eternal Thunderhammer, Artificer armor. He's joining 5 bikes. 2 of them have plasma. 10 tacticals. 1 has a plasma cannon, 1 has a melt-a-gun in a drop pod. I'm running a Stalker, a Storm Raven, a Storm Talon, 5 scouts with cloaks and sniper rifles, and a Thunderfire cannon, I think. Oh, and 5 plane scouts in a plane land speeder Storm. There's supposed to be a heavy bolter on that. That is primary Space Marine. Inquisitor allies. I'm bringing Kotiaz. I'm also bringing a second Inquisitor. He's got rad grenades, and he's in a group of 6 Death Cult assassins, 1 Crusader, 1 Psyker, and a Priest. They are in a Land Raider, plain Land Raider with a multi-melta. The other inquisitorial detachment is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys, acolytes with storm bolters, and a psyker in a Razorback with Cybolt ammo, heavy bolters. The third Inquisitor warband is just a regular acolyte, a psyker, and a Crusader. They are in a plain Valkyrie. So that's it. Space Marine primary, Red Hunters, Inquisitor allies. Gonna bring over. I never bring the right army. I brought a small army with lots of expensive weapons, and he brought a horde of brand new Orks. So, brand new Ork Codex.
We got however many Gretchen that is. 12?
Enough.
12 Gretchen with a run herder with a grot prod. We got 10 shooter boys with just a slugger chopper, knob with a boss pole and a big shooter. We got Snickrot with 14 commandos, 2 rockets, mech is in there too, and a knob with a power claw. We have 10 chopper boys led by a knob with a big chopper. Same thing, another one, and a third one. So that's 3 different units, and then another one, but this one's got a power claw, but slugger chopper. We got some knob bikers with a couple big choppers, a power claw, some combi flamers. Then we got 30 boys here, slugger chopper with a knob with a power claw, boss pole. 4 lavas, 20 storm boys. We got a pain boy HQ. We got a war boss with mega armor, lucky stick. We got my warlord, which is a war boss on a bike, with the Killy Choppa, which is the gift of Gork and Mork. He's got a power claw, and he's got a combi flamer as well. That's it.
Alright, and Orks won the roll-off. What, are you going to pick the far objective, far side over there?
Yeah, I'm going to pick this side.
You're going to pick this side?
I'm over here.
Okay, but the extra objective's over there, right?
Yeah, the extra, that's true, but I got plans.
You got plans. I
got plans.
I'm scared of the green tide over here. So we're gonna do deployment, and we'll be back with turn 1. All right, here's the deployment. Our new high quality battle reports featuring steadier cameras. basically the green tide is lined up right at the 24-yard line there in the Hamville deployment. I guess you can, bikes are here on this side, big guns are in the middle, storm boys are off to that side, and all the other boys are sort of scattered amongst the line there. I have a different tactic going on. I got Code, Cheese, and the Thunderfire Cannon hiding behind a building with the Stalker. Got the Land Raider pretty far back, and the bikes. I'm going to infiltrate the troops, or we should do the infiltration. And drop pods coming in turn 1, Storm Raven, Storm Talon, Valkyrie are flying on. The speeder is going to outflank, and the vehicle, the Razorback, is going to come in on reserve. So we should do, oh, my powers are Scryer's Gaze, and I rolled on Divination, Prescience, and Foreboding. You have no Psychic?
None.
And
no weird boys. We
got to do our infiltrators, and then I can try to seize with Cochise.
I only have outflankers.
Oh, you only have outflankers. So then I have to put my infiltrators in.
Yep.
And I'll just roll to see if I can seize right here. 4. Cotiaz gets his double roll, and a 3. No seize. I'm going to place my scouts, and we'll be back with turn 1. That's the horde. That's the appropriate sound from an orc player. And that is the Space Marine startup. And we'll be okay, here's turn 1 for Orks. The green tide moved forward. The storm boys are over there behind that big line of sight blocking terrain. And the bikes are down here. Bikes moved through all of this. Storm boys did their special jump move. I think, what, you make like 26 or 27 dangerous terrain tests and didn't roll a single one. The big guns over there, they fired ineffectively at the Thunderfire Cannon, which is hidden out of line of sight. So my big worry here, obviously, is the Storm Boys, which are the closest to me. The bikes are somewhat close-ish.
Some Skyfire going on here.
And that's that. That's the board at the end of 1. Alright, so here was the action from the bottom of turn 1, Space Marine turn. The Thunderfire Cannon hiding behind over there did its Prescience thing. I got Prescience and Scryer's Gaze off. Put all my firing, all my shooting went into the Storm Boys here. And Thunderfire killed some. The bikes killed some. The Land Raider killed some. The Tacticals killed some. And the Scouts all helped out. We beat them back all the way to 1 Knob with the Claw and 4 dudes. Did they make their whatever, their leadership or whatever? Did they have, these guys, they gotta roll it. Alright.
And here it comes.
And then tactically, I scored. I had
they fail.
They failed their leadership.
Now I gotta roll on
I stole his loot because he had Objective 2 card, and Objective 2 is here. I picked up my own Objective 2 card, so I scored Objective 2 twice. I also picked up the card that says, if all mysterious objectives are revealed, you get a point, and everyone's on a mysterious objective. They've all been revealed when I jumped on 5 over there. And that is it. I have 3. He has 1. And these Storm Boys just failed. Leadership, what happens there?
I gotta roll on a chart. 2. Breaking heads. Unit includes 1 or more orc characters, which it does. It suffers D6, strength 4, AP, nothing hits, and then treat it as if it had passed a morale or pinning check.
Alright, so they're going to take some more hits, but they will stay on the board. So that's the end of turn 1.
6.
No first blood yet, and it's 3 points for the Space Marines and 1 point for the Orcs.
Secured, right? Over there?
Yeah, I'm objective secured. Okay, here we are, turn 2 for the Orcs. As you can see, the Orcs continue to move forward. Over here, the Snickrot model did his crazy pick aside and come in on, and he came in right next to Kotiaz. I got my I've been expecting you roll to kill a couple dudes, but he's got a pretty big squad of outflankers over there. And the bikes came in. I think I killed one in Overwatch, and then they beat the crap out of the tactical Marines. They killed them down to the 2 men, and they were about to get sweeping advance, but and they shall know no fear kept me locked. So that is... Oh, and then as far as scoring, you had the card that said you score if you control 3 or more.
Yeah. And
you scored 2 points on that one?
I scored, no, I scored 1 on that.
You scored 1 on that, and then you had the other one that's if you scored twice, if you have twice as many objectives as your opponent, you score a D3.
And I scored D3.
So you got 2 on that.
Yep.
And you scored one other thing. You scored my card, right? You scored my Objective 4 card, which you stole from me over there. So, you scored 3 points this turn? Or 4? You scored 4 points this turn?
I scored 1, 2, 3, 4 points.
And you had 1 from last turn, so you have 5 now at the end, halfway through 2. And that's the board. We've got action here with the bikes. We've got action over on the other side of the board where Kodiaz is dealing with Snickrot. And we've got the Green Tide marching forward. Alright, I just wanted to break in here and just show you movement phase. He did a lot of complicated things, and I did some complicated things to respond. In my movement, my Scryer's Gaze got everything on the table. So, the Razorback with the Stormbolter dudes came on as reserves, and those dudes popped out. The Storm Raven came on hovering close. I'm hoping to shoot everything over here at Snickrot and his boys. Chapter Master and Bike Squad moved also in position to both shoot and potentially assault anything that's left of those Orks. Land Raider moved forward and popped out the Death Cult Assassins and all of its tricks to get within to join the assault with the bikers.
Thank you.
And the Storm Talon flew on. I got the cards I drew were kill an entire unit in shooting. So my hopes is to Storm Talon, kill that Storm Boy in shooting. I got score objective marker number 3, which I did with my speeder. Will do. And I got score objective marker 6, which I'm hoping to do. I also brought the Valkyrie on. It flew on, and I got a hit on my grab shoot insertion, popped out a Crusader and 2 dudes, and they're going to hopefully try to run at an objective. And that's the one in question. Can I score that objective over there? I got this one. I should be able to kill him. And we'll see how things work out with the assault. But I just wanted to do movement because it was pretty complicated. And that's the board after movement. We'll be back with at the end of the... Okay, this was the bottom of 2 Space Marines and Inquisitors. I already told you about what happened in movement. So everything's in position. Basically, I'll tell you what happened for shooting. All the shooting from Thunderfire, the Stormbolter dudes, the Heavy Bolter, got the Thunderfire, and then the Storm Raven dumped into here. Killed everyone they could see except for Snickrot, who stood there for a little while. And then the bikes came in and did their shooting, killed off Snickrot. There's just one knob with a wound on it here. I got lucky and got off a run roll on my drops, shooted dudes, and managed to grab objective 6. That was a point that I scored this game. Dumped some Valkyrie shooting into the Orks here, and I killed, I think, 1. Land Raider shot over there, killed a few Orks, and dumped out its Death Cult Assassin troops who joined the assault with the Knob Bikers. What happened in the assault? I lost
the combat by 1, but I'm fearless.
You lost combat by 1. My Crusader held out against his boss. It was pretty epic. Killed a bunch of my Death Culties though, so I'm pretty combat ineffective. The Storm Talon that you see over here got first blood by killing off the one lonely Storm Boy that was over there. So I got first blood. I also had the card that said if you kill a unit in shooting, you get a point. So I got another point there. And finally, the Land Speeder Storm came on, did some shooting, killed a few Orks, and scored that objective, which I had the card for. So in this turn, I scored a point for that objective, a point for this objective, I scored a point for killing a unit and shooting. I got first blood, so I got 4 additional points. I think I'm somewhere around 8 points. How many do you have?
5.
You have 5.
Something like 5.
At the bottom at the bottom of 2, it's 8. I believe it's 8 to 5. Close enough. And that's how the board looks at the end of 2. So this was turn 3 for the Orks. So a lot happened. All the Orks moved forward. They got an assault off from this unit to the speeder and wrecked the speeder, and these dudes popped out and they're okay. What else happened before the big assault?
He killed 2 bikes with the lavas, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Labas killed 2 bikes over there, and then let's see. The main part of your turn probably was this assault, where we saw the Orks won the assault, and then I failed both the Inquisitor and his Crusader that was locked in the challenge. They failed their leadership and ran away like 8, and these tactical Marines failed their failed their leadership, got sweeping advance, but they know no fear, so they stayed locked. But their White Scar tactics, so they hit and run and got away a number of inches, and the Orks backed up.
The 2 henchmen died over here on the Valkyrie.
Yeah, the 2 henchmen. This was epic. The way over here, you can see it. The one lonely Crusader that's left. There was a Crusader and 2 henchmen, and they got assaulted. And the Crusader had to make what, like 8? Had to make 8 3-up invols, and he made all 8 and held in the combat, and he even held his leadership. So that was pretty epic rolling. And that is turn halfway through 3 for the Orks. That's the table at the end of, or halfway through 3. Alright, at the bottom of 3, here's what everything looks like. Space Marines got in total position to shoot at bikes. The Talon, Land Raider, Raven, bikes, the tacticals over there, even the scouts and the drop pod got in the mix. Everybody dumped shots, and we managed to have the Knob Bikers down. 3 of them have 1 wound left, and 1 of them is back, still has 2. Not awesome shooting, but okay, considering he jinked, all that. Over here, the Orc boys are consolidating. They wiped out the Crusader. He finally died. And I issued a challenge with my scouts and got them wiped out over here. So how did I do scoring wise? I had a card that allowed me to score if I issued a challenge. I did that there. I had a card that, what was my other card? To score objective 6, which was this one, and score for being in my backfield. So I have all these units in my backfield here. So I picked up 3 more points, scored all of my cards. So now I'm at 8, 9, 10, I think 11 to 5 here. And that's what the board looks like at the end of 3. Alright, as we are in turn 4, Orks move forward. They killed this flyer because I was in hover mode. They assaulted it and killed it. Killed that flyer because I was in a hover mode scoring an objective the previous turn, and they assaulted it with a claw. And over here, the bikes assaulted. He had a card to score a point for issuing a challenge. He issued Chapter Master Challenge, the bike war boss, but not the big HQ guy.
And he could probably hit and run.
I can hit and run, and I want to hit and run, I think. I'm going to do that after this. He got a bunch of shots off. He had to snap shoot me as he was coming in, but he got a bunch off and did some damage there. And wiped out the rest of the bikes. But the Chapter Master held. He killed the guy in challenge. What am I missing? Anything? Basically, killed the 2 flyers, killed the bikes, issued a challenge, and is in combat with the Chapter Master. I'll be back letting you know whether or not the guy hits and runs. He should be able to hit and run. And he scored 1 point for issuing the challenge, so we're at 6-11. That's the board. Okay, bottom of 4. What happened here? Everything on this side of the board got in position to shoot that way at the what's that big bulky guy over there called? Anyway, not his war boss, but his other big orc in
yeah, it's a war boss.
It's a war boss in armor.
Not my warlord.
And then a little bit of shooting from the scouts into here killed a couple of orcs. But ultimately, what I did was I got the way over there. That war boss, I killed everything in the unit, mostly with the Thunderfire cannon, but with some Land Raider shots. Chapter Master issued a challenge, and the little knob in the boys squad put forward, and I wiped him out. They stayed, they're going to stay locked in combat. I got a few more shots with the 2 tacticals that are still hanging around. And I scored, one card I had was scored D3 points for controlling 3 objectives. So the only way I could score my 3rd objectives was to drop into hover mode and get my Storm Raven over there. So I only scored, of course, I rolled a 1 on that. I scored 1 point for doing that, and I scored 1 point for killing an enemy character in this round. I did that in the challenge over there. So I go to 13, and you're at 6, I think.
Something like that. These guys are going to move,
and
they're going to do their run while they're at it. So they're going to go 10.
And this is beginning. Okay, for turn 5 for the orcs. What did you kill? You got your assault off on the Storm Raven that had to go into hover mode with the Power Claw. You ended up doing immobilizing it and glancing it, so it's down to its last hull point and it's immobilized. What else did you do in this turn? Everybody ran forward, and the orcs over there assaulted and killed the scouts in the building. And then for this combat here, Chapter Master. What did I do?
We
wounded each other. We challenged each other. War boss versus warlord, and we wounded each other. And then I hit and ran tactically, and then I'm setting myself up for turn 5 shooting and re-assaulting, because there's a card on the table over here that says if you kill a warlord, you get D3 victory points.
Well, in a challenge.
In a challenge. Yeah. Alright, so that's the table at the midway through 5. Okay, game ended on turn 5. Here was the bottom of 5. I kind of screwed up. He had a card that you could if you killed the warlord in a challenge, you could score D3 points, and I forgot you can only steal your opponent's objective marker card. So I got into the challenge and realized I couldn't score, but ended up killing the war boss, scoring an extra point. That's going to put me at 14. He's at 7. Other things, I did some shooting with the Storm Raven into those orcs over there. I dumped all the rest of my living things shooting into the bikes that were still alive with the war boss. So it ends up about I think it was 14-7. Let me get a handshake on film here. Yeah. Good game. Appreciate the hospitality and everything. That's how things ended up. That's pretty much it. Maelstrom of War mission, 2,000 points, Space Marines and Inquisitors versus Orks. That's the first time we see new Orks on the table. They're a lot of fun. It was a Horde army versus my build was not really set up for fighting Hordes, but the army still proves itself to be really effective in the Maelstrom of War missions because it's pretty mobile and there's tons of objectives secured. Luke ran that Ork formation, had no objectives secured, so that may have... I don't think that really came into play all that much.
Not really.
But
We started pulling cards
good game.
out of the deck.
Yeah, it does sort of feel a little bit like card draws or luck of the draw, but also you can build your army to deal with the cards in the Maelstrom War Mission.
Objective placement.
That's a wrapped up battle report. Like the channel and comment, etc. Enviz, and listen to our podcast, Veterans of the Long War, on Facebook and on iTunes.